conscious negotiation. Now, here is a truth that most people miss. We are negotiating every day, not only in boardrooms, not only in contracts, not only in business settings. We are negotiating when we ask someone for more time, give me time. When you say yes or no, you're negotiating. When you're managing people's expectations, when you handle disagreements that we often have, we even negotiate with our own mind. So the question is not, do I negotiate or not? The real question is, do I negotiate consciously or unconsciously? That makes a very, very big difference. Because unconscious negotiation creates stress, resentment, and poor outcomes. Yeah? Conscious negotiation creates clarity, respect, and results that are satisfying to both parties. So most people think that negotiation is convincing, persuasion, pressure, compromise, or winning over the other person. That is an outdated concept, Baba. Negotiation is not about winning, it is about aligning. Two people aligning on the same outcome. So it is the art of understanding the interests, managing the emotions, and creating agreements that people actually honor. Now, when you force an agreement, people may not honor it, no? We've seen that. Unilateral negotiation. You are going to do this from now. That kind of negotiation doesn't work, right? A lot of times I asked your opinion, didn't I? Still you didn't do it. That's because we didn't really negotiate in a manner that would ensure that the other person also is going to do what they agreed to. So remember something, if somebody agrees with you, but they resent you, you did not negotiate, you forced the other person. Or if you gave in, you gave up and agreed to what the other person said, you didn't negotiate, you avoided. Now, a lot of times you do it, okay, better to say yes, who's going to argue with this person? So real negotiation leaves both sides clear, calm, happy, willing to go forward, much more than they were feeling before. So the first law of negotiation is the emotional state comes first. The emotional state is going to determine the outcome of the negotiation. Now, people do not decide logically when they feel threatened, pushed, rushed, disrespected, or unheard, If they feel that this guy is not really listening to me, is just shoving his own point of view, then they don't decide logically also. Before any words make a difference, in a negotiation, your job is to first create psychological safety. That means the person feels safe to say what they wish to say. The person feels safe that they don't have to say something which will only make you feel happy. Okay? So that's the first thing, to create psychological safety. Second thing is to create emotional neutrality. Okay, so they are neither afraid nor threatened, nor they are trying to impose something on you. And the third thing is, your job is to create mutual respect. Respectful engagement makes negotiation much easier. Much, much easier. So on the world today, you see what happens when disrespectful negotiation is happening. It doesn't even look like a negotiation. But the person who's negotiating thinks, I'm negotiating. So remember a very, very powerful principle. Calm people, peaceful people negotiate. Reactive people either fight or they submit, they give up. So if you treat people like vassals, they will give up. If emotions are high, slow down. Speed is the enemy of good negotiation. And remember, every one of us is negotiating, even at home. So, obviously, in a negotiation, there is a situation or a problem, and there are people involved in it. Okay? So, in a negotiation, please separate the person from the problem. The problem is the problem. As a matter of fact, a good negotiator will make sure that both parties or all parties see that, hello, listen, you are not the problem, I am not the problem. The problem is a problem for everybody. But what happens in most negotiation? People confuse who they are arguing with. They mix it up with what the issue is. You know, instead of saying, hey, listen, what's the problem? How do we both fix it? So, great negotiators will never attack the identity of the other person. So, instead of saying, you are being unreasonable, you always don't listen, you know, they'll never say like that. They'll say, let us look at what is not working over here. Let us look at what is not working over here. Let us work together for the outcome. Instead of saying, you always do this, they would say, okay, here is a pattern that we need to address. Now, this will do two things, which are very, very important, okay? It will reduce defensiveness. So, what is naturally seen when somebody disagrees, we get on the defensive, and so does the other person. So when you follow this system, two things will happen. It will reduce defensiveness, that will increase openness, that will increase listening. They will become more calm, they will become responsive instead of reactive. So that's one thing. And it will make sure that the conversation is productive. After all, negotiation is a conversation. It is sometimes a difficult conversation, but it is a conversation, isn't it? So remember one thing, when someone feels attacked, they stop listening. So the second skill in negotiation you need is always focus on the interests, not on taking a position like who's right and who's wrong. Okay? A position is what someone says that they want and they are stuck to it. Interest is why they want it. Great negotiators always find out why is someone asking for something. I mean, I could give you 50 examples of it. One example is they have taken a position, which is, I need a higher price. What is their interest really? I need security, I need value, I need recognition. Why do they want a high price? Find that out first. So when you argue positions, you will hit a wall. Right? When you explore interests, you will find out options, you will find out possibilities that both parties can look at. Okay? So very, very powerful question is, help me to understand what is most important to you in this situation. Let me repeat that. A question that you can ask in a negotiation. Please help me to understand what is most important for you here. And that one sentence will unlock the entire negotiation. Things will start flowing better. People will get off the defensive position if they are on one. Third thing skilled negotiators have is the power of strategic listening. Now, most people, all of us, most of the time, we listen to reply. We haven't even listened, but we are preparing a reply, right? Negotiators, they listen to understand and to influence. Here is the secret. People always respond much better. They respond softly when they feel that they are being heard, that someone is really listening to them. So a couple of things that good listeners will do. They will do some paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means you tell back to the other person. Yeah, so what you're saying is so and so, so and so. Number two, they validate. They validate what the other person is saying. Oh, I understand what you're feeling. I mean, I'm getting a sense of what your situation is. Okay? And in good listening, sometimes you keep quiet also. You use silence. Other person gets it that you're processing. Silence is not a weakness, huh? Silence actually creates a little pressure for clarity. So people will say something and you want them to say something because you want to listen to them, because you want to listen to their point of view. You want to listen to what they're feeling. You want to listen to what is really important for them. So when you keep quiet for a while, they won't keep quiet, right? And if they do keep quiet, you can ask a probing question. Something like, okay, is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Is there anything else that we should know to take this conversation forward? So if the silence remains a silence, you can ask. Skill number 4 is you should know the point at which you are going to walk away. Walk away means, okay, I'm not going to talk any further. Or this is how far I'm willing to go in this negotiation. So every negotiator, conscious negotiator, needs clarity on one thing before they begin their negotiation. And what they want to know is, what will I do if we do not agree with each other? That is your walkaway point. Without that, you will over concede. You may give up more than you want to. Without that, you will negotiate from fear. Without that, you will accept bad deals. And if your walkaway point is clear, you will stay grounded. You will negotiate from choice. And you will gain more confidence. So here is a very paradoxical thing, guys. The more you're willing to walk away, the stronger your negotiation position becomes. Like a thought. Okay, what is the worst thing that will happen? We'll not agree. Okay, the fifth and very important fifth skill is making a target that we must have a long-term relationship with this person. Some of the people we negotiate with, we have a long-time relationship with them. At home, family members, children, etc. But I'm saying with clients also, remember, we want to have a long-term relationship, right? Today is a time when we want lifetime customers. Isn't it? So short-term wins will create long-term losses. It's a good thing to remember. You may win now, but on the long run, you may lose, because you may lose this client forever. So the best negotiators will always ask, whatever we are doing now, is it going to damage trust? Will it make sure that our relationship continues? Will this agreement that we might make be honored willingly? See, a lot of times, a deal which looks good on paper but creates resentment, and it will fail in real life. Now, not all negotiations end up in a paper, like with children, with family members, with friends, right? You need to be very clear. Are they saying yes, yes, because they want to shut you up and they don't want to talk any further? Or are they actually going to do what has been agreed? Yeah. So a good negotiator will keep on discussing unless both parties happily are agreeing to something. Or even if they are not happy, but they are actually agreeing that, all right, this is the best thing to do. So great negotiators think in number of years, not in moments, So one of the most important insights that we should have is you do not negotiate to control people. That's not the purpose of a negotiation. So many people like to think like that. You don't negotiate to control people. You negotiate to create clarity. See, when clarity reduces, when clarity does not, reduces, when there is clarity, fear will reduce. Creativity will increase. So more creative outcomes will come out. Solutions will come very, very naturally. And one very important thing to remember is the most important negotiation you will ever conduct is the one inside your own mind, between your fear and your confidence, between your reaction and your choice. And when you master that negotiation, every external negotiation becomes easier. So thank you. And I wish that all your future negotiations at home or outside your home, they become calm, clear, and powerful.